Hey guys, before we get into the devlog, huge announcement. I have now released the store page for my game today, so please head on over to the link in the description and wishlist my game, PlanetFall Endless Wave. It's been around 2 weeks since my first devlog, where I show my crazed ramblings and confusion of my game's direction. At this stage of development, we had more of a wave defense game set up rather than an incremental game. I felt as though this was the right direction to go down, especially at this time of development. I was dead wrong. I had no incremental game set up whatsoever, and this left me a little lost with no real design, story, or even what the currency that we're trying to gather is about. The art direction was all over the place. I could never really find that perfect little medium spot where I was like, I like the look of this game. The UI stands out, the gameplay is shown. It was not set up properly, which meant I really didn't know what I was developing at the time. I had a bit of a general idea of what the game was meant to be, but story-wise, objective-wise, and overall gameplay-wise, it was just not working no matter what I'd done. I had no real direction in which I was going, so I ended up scaling absolutely everything back and went into the project with a new mindset. I took all the art that I previously made away. I went through a few UI variations and changes, same with the art a little bit, but I ended up just taking absolutely everything I had, picking an art style, sticking with consistency, looking into colour theory, and most of all, enjoying the process of making the incremental part of the game. From here, I decided to live stream my journey so far, the development process that I'm doing. I thought at the time maybe it would be easier to record the clips and gameplay. Oh god, I was wrong, because each of those streams went from 1 hour or 30 minutes all the way up to 5 hours, 6 hours, and that is so much footage to go through, so it kinda made it actually harder for me to capture parts of development and gameplay, but I'll do my best to show that in this video. Raw material that we've gathered from the enemies into refined material so we can start upgrading these. I'm also going to make the cost of things a wee bit higher at the start, especially for those rockets. Yeah, mad rocket. There we go, cool. Slow that down a little bit because it's getting nuts, and we've got the lasers out. The lasers are so loud compared to the turret. Back to the upgrade, and we want more output on those refined materials. We want more rocket damage, and this button does absolutely fuck all now. Those were just a few little funny clips that I found from my most recent stream. For this part of the video though, what we're going to be focusing on is what we've added to the game, what we've developed so far, and what the actual gameplay is now. The premise of the game is that you kill enemies, you get something called raw biofuel. With that raw biofuel you can refine it using many different refineries, and that's where the incremental game lies. Each of those refineries output more and more of that refined fuel, and that refined fuel can be then used to upgrade your weapons, but eventually you will hit a bit of a wall. You can no longer really progress anymore because you're not making enough of that refined fuel, and then the waves of the enemies will get too much. There'll be too many of them to kill, or they'll be too hard to kill because their difficulty scales with the amount of time and how many waves have passed. It's kind of like Risk of Rain 2's difficulty scaling over time. Once that wall's been reached, by then you've probably killed maybe a few bosses or one boss. That boss will drop something that's kind of like a permanent currency that you can use with each restart of the game. Now bear in mind, every time you restart, the whole game loops again. You never go back to the saved point that you had before. It goes from the very start. Due to that, you'd think to yourself, well, how would I keep the progression in my game? That's where the roguelite part of the game kicks in. You have a permanent upgrade screen where you can add better multipliers to your refineries or processing speeds for them. You can also upgrade your weapons permanently and even unlock new weapons or even extra features to speed up the game so it's not as boring each round that you play. Now, because we've covered all the gameplay, the functionality, the general game loop, we should probably end the video here because there's so much to talk about. It will end up becoming something along the lines of a 50-minute video. No, that's a bit too big, but it will be something along the lines of a 10 to 15-minute video. If you do want longer devlogs, please do comment below, but for now I do want to kind of keep them short so we don't get that attention leaving it later towards the video. If you are curious about how the enemies were created or any specifics, do comment below and I can make separate devlogs for each part of the game and go in depth about how I created it and even show some of the development that I did capture through my Twitch channel. If you have enjoyed this video though, please do comment, like and subscribe, and also please wishlist my game because I do want to get it up on some sort of discoverability page or even just to have more wishlists so it can be seen easier in general. But thank you so much for watching up till now and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend.